Hey gang, stick along with me through this video and we're gonna go through the process of photographing some items that we're gonna get ready and list on eBay. Most of this stuff came from thrift stores or garage sales or estate sales, and I pay as little as I can for things so that I can turn them around, flip them for profit. In this case, we're looking at a Ralph Lauren polo with this this big pony logo stitched on the front. Where did I find this? This came from a Goodwill. I paid $4.50 for it. I think it's probably worth $25, $50, or $25 to $26, something like that. I'm just going to use this little roll of tape to get off any lint or anything that's on here before I take some photos. It just came out of the wash, so it has like a tiny little wet area here where it picked up something from the washer. So hopefully that won't show up in the photos. I don't always wash clothes that I pick up from thrift stores or garage sales or whatever. Sometimes things are brand new and you don't want to mess up the tags. So I'll take 6 or 8 photos of this, maybe a couple more. I'll try to get a close-up of this embroidered spot. I'm going to put this measuring tape here to show the size of this thing. This seems pretty rare for this big pony on here. Okay, I usually try my best to keep my hands out of these photos, so I'm going to use just a little pen here to hold down the tag. If you can see this, I'm going to hold the tag while I take photos because it's flipping up when it's on its own. So Polo by Ralph Lauren. I don't prefer to sell clothing because it takes so much work to lay it out, take photos, take measurements, keep track of everything. I've had not a lot, but I had some returns for item doesn't fit. So I go a little bit overboard with my measurements because I want to have the least amount of risk that someone is going to return one of these shirts or pants or whatever it is. So I use one of these boogie boards, it's called, and I'll write the measurements right on here. And then I'll take a photo of this and include it once I have all the measurements listed. I'll also take a photo of each time I put the measuring tape on. I'll take a photo of that, and I'll write the full measurements in the description. In this case, I usually do chest, shoulder, and then the length, and then what I call the hem across here, which I don't see a lot of other people doing that, so I think I'm definitely going overboard with that. But like I said, I don't want to get any returns if I don't have to. So chest is 20. This is size medium, isn't the best size you can get. I think that extra larges and 2Xs are probably better. So they sell quicker. Okay, 20 inches, then I'll do the shoulders. I usually just do from the seam to the seam where the sleeve is attached. That's 18.5. The length here is 25 inches. When I do photos like this, straight down, the camera often switches its orientation and makes it sideways. So if anybody has a solution for how to lock that in place, I don't like to have to rotate those after the fact. So if you have an idea how I can solve this problem, please let me know. Okay, I forgot to write down the length, which is 25. Don't have the best handwriting for this. 18. I see a lot of other people who have nice slant boards for taking photos of their clothing, and I wish I could have something like that, but I'm not primarily a seller of clothes, so I don't want to set up another photo station with a slant on it. But it would definitely make this easier. Okay. All my clothes goes into one of these poly bags, if it will fit. I do have some bigger, just kind of, lightweight bags, like trash bags for something that's big, like, well, I have a Carhartt snowsuit over here that I need to get listed. So that might end up going in a big bag, big trash bag. I think this is overkill too, but I always put these stickers with a number on it on clothing, so that I can, if I pull this out and there happens to be two green shirts in the same storage location, I'll be able to just compare the number. You'll see right here, this one flipped upside down because of the screen rotation. So if anybody can help me figure out how to lock that, please, I need your help. So I Googled it and Googled it, and I can't come up with an answer. This is an Android phone. Okay, these are all straight. Okay. I used the custom SKU field here on eBay to include a location where I'm going to store these items. This is going in T4, that stands for tote 4, and I'll put the 210 on here for this, from this sticker that I just put on. And then I have a tote right here. Once this is totally full, I'll put a lid on it and then store it away somewhere. Okay, that's one down. Next, I'm going to do these Magic Schoolhouse books. I got these from a free box. Somebody was just giving them away, so I was happy to see these. I would not be excited to see one or two of them. They wouldn't be worth enough to try to sell one or two, but here's 28, and they're all in order, number 1 through 28. So people do buy big collections. So if you're, you know what, I forgot to include this photo, so let's go back to the shirt, and I'll take a picture of this real quick. And then I'll tell you more about these Magic Treehouse books. Okay, put that photo in. While I'm here, I'm going to include those measurements in the description. So 20 by 18.5 by 25, 21, and then the arm. Sometimes I put sleeve and sometimes I put arm. 18. Okay, now that listing's ready and I can clear out this board. It just has a button on it. You can clear off anything that you wrote and then reuse this. I saw that on another reselling YouTuber named Lonnie. Him and his wife have a channel called Shed Flips, so check them out. Okay, back to Magic Treehouse. Did I take any pictures? Whoops. Okay. So like I was saying, I wouldn't try to sell 1 or 2 or even 3 of these, but a big stack like this is going to do pretty well. I think I will. They're in such good condition. I don't know if they were ever read. And eBay only allows 24 photos per listing. So there's 28 of these books. That means I'm not going to be able to take an individual photo of each one. And I don't know if it would be beneficial to do that anyway, so I'm going to do 2 at a time. I'm getting some glare from my lights on these shiny books. I'm going to try to adjust my angle a little bit. Well, I can't really get rid of it. It'll be fine. I think people know what they're getting into. I just want to show the condition that all of these books are such nice. They're very well taken care of. These aren't the old editions. I think Scholastic published some that may be worth more. These were published by Random House fairly recently in the 2000s, maybe 2010 or 12. I have that date in the listing title, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now, so we'll check when I upload the photos. So this is going to end up being 15 photos. I don't know. You know, a lot of people talk about the eBay algorithm and how to get everything exactly right, and I've heard some suggestions that 7 photos is the magic number to appease the algorithm. I don't think anybody knows the truth about how that algorithm works. I'm not sure if anybody at eBay even knows. So I just, for the most part, I go by what feels right. Okay. I think kids' books, like this sort of thing, where you can get a whole bunch of them at once, kids' books always do pretty well. I think these were after this wasn't my generation's books, but I have seen some episodes of that show on PBS, and I guess it's pretty popular still, all these years later. Okay, that's all of those. I'm going to wrap those up with some stretch wrap to try to keep it all bundled together. So I pretty much always write drafts of my listings on the browser, the eBay website on a PC or a laptop, and then I save them as drafts. Once I get enough to make it worthwhile, I come down here to my photo station and I set up as much as I get as many of those listings done as I can. See, all of these flipped sideways, so I'm going to have to rotate every one of those. I guess I can see it happening when I'm taking the photos, but I'm not concentrating on the little arrow. I'm concentrating on the photo, not the space around the photo. So these are going to involve some work, and it's more than I would like. Got to rotate, rotate, rotate. Rotate, rotate, rotate. So it takes a little time if you had to do 17 or, God forbid, 24 photos. It might be faster to just retake the pictures. Sometimes it flips in the direction where you only have to rotate it once, and then, like today, I had to rotate it 4 or 5 times. I guess 3 times. Okay, those are all fixed. Now let's find a location to store these. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap this with stretch wrap. I'm gonna do them in halves, something that I can hold with one hand, and then once I get these 2 halves wrapped, I'll wrap it one more time with the entire stack together. This is just so I don't want there to be any possibility that I don't send all 28 of these books. So I'm going to tie them up together, and it'll also just keep them neater on the shelf. There won't be any sliding around or anything. Huh. Feels warm right here. I don't know why. There's no reason for this table to be warm. those two together, and then we'll wrap the whole stack. And break it off. Okay, where can I put these? I have this shelf here that I do have some inventory here, but since I built this bench, it takes up enough space that it's difficult to get here to this shelving unit. So I don't really like putting things here right now, but I feel like I'm running out of good space for stuff like this. You know what? I'm not using this shelf at all. So I found this Gatorade. It's supposed to be for 2-liter bottles. I found this Gatorade shelf and I put it here, and I barely have any inventory on it, so I might as well use it right now. So this location will be called, this custom SKU field on the eBay app is under the item specifics tab, and it's all the way at the very bottom. So this location is Gator, and then I do A, B, C. I'll call that. I've been having trouble with this GoPro just turning off. So I'm going to buy a new camera. I don't know why it's doing that. It's getting kind of annoying though. It happened a couple of times where not only it shut off, but it also deleted all of the video that I was working on, so that was really annoying. Okay, this is a game. It's called Tradition, a game of Jewish facts, trivia, and humor. So I suspect this came out about the time when Trivial Pursuit was very popular. They made a lot of trivia games at that time on different subjects. And this one is all about Jewish culture. So when I got it, it was missing these pawns, so I had to buy some. I didn't have to. I could have just, I could have just written it off. I'm sure I spent $2 on the game or less. But then I had to spend $6 something just on these 4 pawns. So this game is going to end up not being okay, camera shut off again. We might end up just doing three photo sessions today and then move on. End it. Because I can't deal with this camera. Okay, so like I said, I had to buy these pawns. Luckily they were in the right colors to match the pieces, because they're not technically the original ones that came with this game. But I looked up this game, and it seemed like there were several editions of it. So there were some that had different pawns, some that had different, whatever these things are, markers. I usually set up a board game, and then I set it up like this with all of the contents out, and then just get in close and take pictures of each of the components on its own. This seems like a pretty rare game. Once I get into the listing, I'll give you an idea of how much I think it's worth, but I don't remember right now. I guess Trivial Pursuit, I don't know, when did that come out? 82, something like that. I do remember playing it quite a bit, and I'm always seeing different editions of it in thrift stores and garage sales, and I like to look at it. It feels like something that would potentially be valuable, but no, I don't know that there's any editions of it that are worth a lot. then I'll just take some pictures of the box on its own. This box does have condition issues. See, the one corner is split out. So I definitely want to make sure that the buyer can see all of that. And I've also written that up in the item description. Okay, add some photos to this. Okay. As far as the location, I've been stacking up a lot of board games right over here. And it was supposed to be, this row was supposed to just be board games, but it has expanded to this pile here. And so this whole location is called BR1, stands for bedroom 1. So this shelf would be number 1 on the bottom. Okay. That game, I am going to just sell it for $25, and I'll take a best offer if I can get one. At this point, I just wanted to get my money back. So, okay, since this camera is giving me some trouble, I'm going to call it today. We just got 3 listings ready to go. I'll finalize these and publish them. I'll schedule them for the future. So thanks for watching. Sorry it was a disaster. I'm going to go upstairs and buy a new camera right now. Take a look at one of these other videos and then subscribe if you like. I'll see you soon. Bye.